Good morning, everybody. It's Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time. I'm Bill the Geek, broadcasting live from Morelia, Mexico. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we make videos about the joys of living in Mexico. And every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time, we get together and share the joy with a big group of people who love being together, having fun, asking questions, talking to each other, having a good time. And if you're new here, if this is your first time, this is not my show. It's your show. Ask questions, leave comments. Let us know where you are. What's your name? What do you want to hear while you're in with us this morning? This is our first broadcast after the end of daylight savings time, which is kind of a trip for me. Because with daylight savings time, I don't broadcast. With daylight savings time, I start broadcasting at like 9 a.m. my time. This is only my 5th month in Morelia. So when I was in Mazatlan, I was broadcasting at 8 a.m. my time. And this is like real mental gymnastics, because now I'm actually broadcasting at 10 a.m. my time. I'm the same as Chicago time. Took me about a week to figure that out. But anyway, let's get this show rocking and rolling. Let's see who is in the house here. Tooth Fairy's been in here. She lives in Morelia. I can't wait to meet her one day. Good morning, Tooth Fairy. She was in here like 40 minutes ago. We got the Buckster in the house. Hola, Buckster. I sent you some information this week. Oh, Buckster wanted some information about how to find a place in Morelia, take care of his visa. He wanted a place near the airport. Good luck with that. So I sent him some information. He's using Rosie. Rosie, I've done 3 interviews with Rosie. She helps people with their immigration. She helps people find apartments in Morelia. She has translation services, and she can help you with your health care needs. All here, and you can find her information at buildgeek.org. Just click on FAQs, and you'll find all of her contact information at the top of the FAQ page. Let's see who else is here this morning. We got William Mustache Stoneman in the house. Ola, and he wants to know, and he's been joining us since we got started. He was joining us back when I was in Chapala doing these. That was like years ago. This is 3.5 years of doing the broadcast, and he wants to know, well, do you have any cons, any bad stuff about living in Mexico? And when you ask that question, William, my mind just goes like, what? Cons, bad parts about living in Mexico? And William Mustache Stone, man, I really can't come up with any bad parts. I'm going to say the only bad part about living in Mexico is if you have a car. And I'm just going to come out and say it. If you have a car, specifically in Ajijic, Chapala, or Mazatlan, and you got gray hair and you're white, be prepared to be pulled over frequently and always have some hundreds of pesos in your pocket to give the friendly police people that are pulling you over, specifically in Chapala, Ajijic. If you live there, be prepared to know what it's like to be pulled over for driving while old and white. Because the police, but other than that, I mean, and I'm serious, man, that's a serious, It's a serious problem. I used to get pulled over like once a week. But other than that, I love everything about living in Mexico. It's a beautiful day here. The sun is shining. I'm looking out my big window over the city. I see 3 clouds in the big blue sky. It's about 62 degrees. It's going up to 72, 73, maybe 74 today. The air is fresh as ever. It's a wonderful day to be alive. We got Stephen Nathan in the house. Buenos dias, everyone from mid-Canada. We have the one, the only Char Williams in the house, spreading the love and the joy. Steve in Kansas City. K-Tel, that means like what's happening. Buenos dias, you're the highlight of my Saturday. Oh, you're so nice. You're so nice. And look who made it on time. Angela Morris, great that you can be here. And Nancy Trevino is in the house. After this week, we need something to smile about. I wonder what she's talking about after this week. Oh, yeah. I have a few things to say about that in a moment. She thinks so. She speaks. Good morning, beautiful fall morning in Charlotte. Great to see you here. We got Cal State Job Coast in the house. Boquete, Panama in the house. You're in Panama, right on. David, my neighbor, also in Morelia, Kansas City. Have you bought your winter jacket for this year? Is it just a sweatshirt with a hoodie? I hope yes. Well, it's a little warmer here today in the house. I've got all my windows all open. And for the last 2 weeks, I've been broadcasting with like 3 hoodies on. Now I only have one. It's going to get a little bit more chilly this winter, so I am going to invest in some type of winter apparel. Brian, Pretty Boy Maiden, is in the house. We're going to have a heat wave today, 14 degrees Celsius. I think that's like around 55 degrees, isn't it? People just spreading the love, talking to each other. Hola, sexy Cuban man. Volunteering in Dallas, feeding the homeless. Good for you, girl. Good for you. And that's funny because a lot of Mexicans think I'm either Jamaican or Cuban. They don't know. That's one of the big joys of living in Mexico. People just don't know what you are. Liston Henry, also my neighbor here in Morelia now. He worked with Rosie to get all of his, or a lot of his settling done, finding an apartment, his visa information. But welcome, Henry. Always great to see you. And Tanya is in the house. Tanya's back again. My second Saturday from Seattle, USA. Ugh. Ever more anxious to get to Mexico after this week. Yeah, this was a tough week, folks. It was a tough week. Hey, Bill. I've been driving around Morelia for 3 years now. Haven't been stopped once. And it's different in different cities. I drove around in Guadalajara for 3 years. Never got stopped ever in Guadalajara. Chapala, Ajijic. It was like they were stopping me every week. I had to give people money every week. Mazatlan was really bad. They'd stop me and I'd have to give them money about every 2 months. In Guadalajara, in fact, I had an immigration attorney in Puerto Vallarta, and she was from Guadalajara, and she said, well, in Guadalajara, the police have other things to do. They're not going to pull you over and try to shake you down for cash. So it really does depend. Oh, and then I lived in El Arenal, which is between Guadalajara and Tequila, and never had a problem. And I knew other people with cars who never had a problem. So it depends on where you live and the mentality of the police force in that location. Let's keep cruising now. Listen, Henry. It's going to be 79 to 80 degrees in Morelia today, right on. And we got Ray Garcia in the house. Typically, any northern states' plates will get fined extra and often by the Mexican policia everywhere in Mexico. And we got Gary in the house. Gary, what's up, dude? Thank you for your great information-packed videos. I'm so happy to be a part of this family, and we're happy to see you here, Gary. Buena dia. I got a big list of stuff going on here today. A lot happened this week. Tooth Fairy, everything is all good here. There are no cons in Morelia. I have never seen anything like it. I am in heaven, and since I don't do fairy tale, this magical country is my heaven. Also, is there a dollar store or Dollar Tree stores with stuff around $1 in Mexico? And I don't see it when I didn't see it when I was in Cancun. They have a place, it's called Waldo's, like Where's Waldo? I've seen Waldo's, and it's spelled just like it sounds. Get on the internet and do a search and see if you can find a Waldo in your area. I've seen them in Guadalajara. I've seen them in Mazatlan, and I've seen Waldo's here in Morelia. It is a dollar store. Try that. Brian Maiden. Switch over from the age 60 now that the big 70 hard. Oh, happy birthday, Brian Maiden. You must have just had a birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Brian Maiden. Happy birthday to you. I'm only 2 years behind you. That's hard to believe. Okay, for what it's worth, one of the big joys of living in Mexico is the value of the peso. The day after the election, which would be Wednesday, the peso dropped to a 3-year low compared to the dollar. I mean, it just went woo. I put up a video about that, I think maybe Wednesday. That's another big joy of living in Mexico. My rent has dropped down to about $441 a month. And I broadcasted a month ago. I was paying like $467 a month. But the peso has dropped dramatically, which means when I go to the store now, I did a video when I made the video about the peso. I put prices in there at the grocery store. And if you watch that video, that grocery store is one of the most expensive grocery stores probably in Mexico. But the atmosphere is so wonderful. I just like to go there. And instead of going to like 3 or 4 places to get all the stuff I need, and when I say like hamburger, rice, Prego, spaghetti sauce, all that kind of stuff, I just go there. I pay a little bit more, but it's a fabulous environment. But anyway, the peso is down. That means rents, your U.S. dollar is going much further. And economists say that the peso's value is going to maintain this level for maybe 2 years. Okay. Oh, you're very welcome, Brian Maiden. Very welcome. And people, happy birthday, Brian Calstone. Happy B-Day. 4 years behind you. Yeah, man. Hey, but Brian, I know you still feel like you 18 years old because that's how you look. Oh, see, we're all family here. And we got my girl, Ms. Matthews, who's in Columbus, Ohio, a fellow Buckeye. Welcome. And thanks, Callie. See, we're all family here. Welcome, everyone. Okay. I stayed off the road this week. I'm getting back on the road this upcoming week. I stayed off the road last week because I'm trying to make my travel day like Wednesday or Tuesday, but I wanted to watch all of the election stuff on Tuesday, and I knew that election stuff usually goes on till about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, which meant whatever. So I didn't travel this week. But the funny thing is, I've only been here in Morelia this is my 5th month in Morelia, and I've met several, meaning more than 3 Americans that were either passing through or living here. And before the election, many of them said, after the election, if the Republicans win, we're planning on moving to Mexico. And which caught me totally off guard, because I'd never heard I've been here almost 20 years. I never heard anyone say that before. But they were saying, yeah, if the Republicans win the election, we're moving to Mexico. And then the day after the election, I got a lot more views on YouTube, and I picked up a lot more subscribers on YouTube the day after the election. It's like after the election, people are looking at Mexico like, wow, yes, time to go, time to get out of here. That's funny. Hey, but right on for me. Who's this? Buck stops here. Brian Maiden, HBD. What does that mean? I knew it. Scorpio. So am I. My birthday is November 19th. I'll be 52. You're a young boy. I'll be in Los Cabos, Baja California, Mexico, bringing it in. Right on. You a spring chicken. Spring chicken. Right on. November 6th, my stock portfolio jumped 30,000 overnight, made me feel very good. Good for you, Brian. Good for you, William Mustache Stone Man. You got all that money. Okay, you should donate some to the channel. Johnny Williams, good morning, Bill from Texas. Wishing you a fun, great day, and thank you. Feliz cumpleaños, Brian. That means happy birthday in Spanish. See all these people got your butt. I got your back. Davis, great. Now donate right on. Tell him, man, William Mustache, donate to the channel. And for those of you that are watching the rebroadcast, if you would like to donate to the channel, this is what I do. This is how I buy my tacos. This is how I take trips. This is how I pay my rent. This is how I move into the future. So if you're watching the rebroadcast, there is a donate button in the description below. Also, there's a donate button at buildthegeek.org. If you go to FAQs, there's a big donate button right there. Okay, now I have been sharing like crazy. What have you been sharing? Angela, what have you been sharing? I agree. My stock portfolio has performed so well. I shot 60% of the profits into my IRA. Right on, you guys. Yeah. Eric Nickerson, great Saturday, Bill, and everyone. You too, Buck. But then again, it is earnings season, also known as Q4. the fourth quarter. This is the time of year when markets usually go up, as long as there is not a pandemic occurring. And Angela, thank you so much for sharing the Bill the Geek Bill Dallas Lewis channel with everybody, so I can pick up some support. Okay, so we're very fortunate this morning. For those of you that have been watching for a long time, it's taken me it's taken years to get all my computer equipment together. I have 2 computers that are pretty much brand new Macs. If one goes out, I can broadcast just with the other one. So this morning we have computers working great. We have good audio. The internet is fantastic. We're broadcasting at about 500 meg. We have electricity today. Our cameras appear to be working today. And for those of you that have been with us for years, you have seen the ups and the sound and the downsides of Bill the Geek broadcasting live. You guys have seen the downside. Oh, you've seen me when I've been broadcasting at like 10 meg. When I was in El Arenal, which is right outside of Guadalajara in a little farm town, I was broadcasting at 10 meg. Delayed sound, stopped video. It was bad. But all is good in Morelia. Life is fantastic. I love it more and more each and every day. And if you are planning a trip, now's a good time to look into Leon. I think it's probably next weekend will be the Leon International Balloon Festival. I went last year. I did a video on it last year. It's a great trip. I do believe that this week I'm going to go to Guitar Land. I think the town is called Paracho, and it's the guitar making city, the guitar making pueblo of Mexico. I think I'm going there this week. It's about an hour and a half from Morelia on the bus. Also, I do want to say that I've been taking these bus trips, and I'm always talking about bus rides, but I've been using these 2 bus services. One is called, I think it's called Paracho, something like that. If you want to correct me, help me out. They do not have bathrooms. Also, Flecha Amarilla, which is Yellow Arrow, the Yellow Arrow buses. They have a big yellow arrow on the sides of their buses. They do not have bathrooms on those buses. And all the other buses like La Linea is fabulous. Elite didn't have great bathrooms. Premier Plus has bathrooms, but these are shorter trips. So whatever. Now, I met a new neighbor. I only have 8 units in my apartment, and I only have 8 units in my apartment. I'm not looking for romance. I would probably turn romance away if I ran into it. But there are, of the 8 units, 4 units are rented by these beautiful Mexican women. And they're all they're all young. They're all like 30, 35. That's young to me. That's half the people in my building. Hey, Hey, that's cool. Because when I was living in Mazatlan, I had like, there must have been 200 units in the building that I lived in, and they were all Canadians that were older than me. They all had white hair. Uh, and it's so great to live in. I mean, my whole community has so many different age levels. I see kids going to school. I mean, elementary school kids. What? Sorry, elementary school kids walking to school in their little Catholic uniforms or elementary school uniforms. I see teenagers driving cars, uh, people in their 30s, people in their 40s. And I mean, places like Ahihik, places like Mazatlan. I mean, the expats are all. I'll be the youngest. I go somewhere, I'm the youngest one. I'm like the teenager. But in Morelia, it's such a Mexican city, and some guy. There's a hill I walk up and down almost every day, and some guy that lives on the hill, he was washing his car. Of course, a Mexican guy. He stopped me. He wanted to know what my name was, where did I live, and he spoke English. And we talked for about 15 minutes. We became to be friends. His name is David, which is David in English. And he said, well, yeah, I've lived in Morelia. I think he was from Mexico City. He said he had lived in Morelia for like 30 years. And he said, well, Morelia is kind of like a big town. So the population is high, but the prices are perfect. My rent's lower. And I'm paying rent now. This is the rent that I was paying 15 years ago in Puerto Vallarta. I like that. I remember living in Cincinnati, Ohio. I was paying $2,500 a month for my rent in Cincinnati. That's like 30 years ago, $2,500 a month. Yeah, I'd go out and rob banks and sell cocaine and heroin and stuff to be able to pay my rent. I don't have to do that anymore. I can just make YouTube videos. Everything is cool. Okay, let's get back. Tanya in the house. Thank you showing up on your second Saturday and contributing to the channel. Love you, girl. Thank you so much. Get out of Seattle. Come on down here, be with your people, and enjoy life. I love Mexico more and more every day. Brian, Pretty Boy Maiden, have you ever heard of a place named Mezcales, Mexico, supposed to be near Puerto Vallarta? Oh, no, Brian, I've not heard of that place. But let's take a looky and see if we can find it on the map. Mezcales. Okay, here's the map. Search Google Maps. Mezcales, Mexico. Okay. Is it called Mezcales, Brian? Here's Mezcales. It says it's in. I don't see it showing up here. Oh, there. Nope. No. You check your spelling, Brian, and see what we can do there. Check your spelling, Mezcales. Check your spelling and see what we can do. Might have, yeah, I think maybe, but that's cool. That's cool. Just check it out and we'll see what we can do finding it. Okay. I talked with a subscriber. Did Holly go out last night on a toot and get cast on her arm? Yeah. Holly, and for those of you that don't know, Holly is that chick back there. Yeah, there she is. That is Holly. I picked her up in Christmastown about a month ago. She's a big partier, goes out at night, has a good time, comes home drunk, brings home other elves, and then she lays back on that cushion all day until about 11:30 at night. Then she's back out on the streets. She can't help herself. Okay, yeah, she's a party girl. Party girl. That's what William Mustache Stone Man's talking about. I talked with a longtime subscriber this week. In fact, I talked about 3 subscribers this week, family people. Mike contacted me. He was with Rosie. Rosie had helped him get one of his visas here in Morelia. Rosie helped him find an apartment, and they called me on a conference call. It was yesterday, and he just wanted to thank me, and Rosie wanted to thank me because I got her a ton of business. And then I talked to a family member of ours. We call them subscribers. Her name is Annie, and she lives in Mazatlan. And I'm not going to say how she's living, but she lives in El Centro. She has 2 fabulous places in El Centro. I strongly suggest, if you're going to live in Mazatlan, don't make the mistake that I made by I lived in northern Mazatlan, and where all the, what do you call them? All the resort hotels were. It was real touristy, unlike El Centro. But we hadn't talked in a while, so we talked about an hour. And she was talking about the cartels fighting in Mazatlan. Yeah, it's like the Mayos and the Chipole, something like that. People are getting killed. People are getting kidnapped in Mazatlan. The cartels pulled over a bus between Durango and Mazatlan, had all the passengers get out of the bus. They set the bus on fire. So Annie, she was talking about small stores in downtown Mazatlan being set on fire and stuff like that. And this has been going on for a month. And Annie's very smart. I think she has 3 passports. She has a Canada passport, a U.S. passport, and a Mexican passport, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sure she does have a permanent visa for sure. I hadn't heard about that, but I looked it up, and I put up these 2 articles on my Facebook page, and the Facebook page is called what's it called? Living in Mexico. No, it's called what is it called? Expat. This whatever. Mexico expats. Mexico expats living in Mexico. Bill Dallas Lewis. We got up to 409 subscribers this week. But I put up 2 articles that Annie shared with me, and one article was quite disturbing. One article, which was created by CBS out of the United States, said that on some highways, the cartel will pull over a car, check their cell phones, everybody in the car. They'll check everybody in the car's cell phones, and if their cell phone calls one of the other or has a record of calling one of the other cartels, they will kill them or kidnap them. So, we're not having any problems here in Morelia. They just say it's a infighting in the cartel. Anyway, that is going on here. Char Williams, what are you talking about? Bill, you're going to keep talking about Holly until you wake up, and she's standing over you looking dead in your face. Ooh, that's scary. That's scary. Ooh, I got to watch out for that, Char. Really? Good morning, everyone. Just got back from Querétaro, renewed my your visa for another 3 years. Really? Congratulations for another 3 years. Congratulations. Another joy of living in Mexico is being legal. Yeah, man. Another joy of being in Mexico is being legal. Because I was illegal sometimes for my first 5 years here. I would just go back and forth. Every 180 days, I would just leave and come back. Leave for like a day, come back. But 2 times, I just got lazy. I got lazy 2 times and let my stuff expire. And one time they wouldn't let me out of Mexico City. It was not good. It was not good. And then I got a 1-year visa. Then I got a 2-year visa. Then I got another 2-year visa. Now I have a permanent visa. And once I got my permanent visa, where did I get that? I was in Chapala. Got all my paperwork done. And if you go to buildthegeek.org and FAQs, I worked with Alvaro. Under FAQs, I've done 2 interviews with Alvaro. Great bilingual Mexican attorney. His office is in Guadalajara, but he makes a trip to Ajijic once a week, and he helped me get my permanent visa and my passport renewed. But he helped me get my permanent visa. When I went to get my permanent visa, the office, I think that office was in Chapala, which is 10 miles away from Ajijic. And so the lady gave me my permanent visa, and in English she says, and notice there's no renewal date. And that's so cool, man. I got permanent visa in Mexico. I'm legal forever. Totally legal, totally good. Happy. Yeah, get legal. Okay. Now, Axel Foley in the house. Hola, Axel Foley. Hope all is doing well. All is doing very well here. For some reason, I've been cooking a lot lately. And this week, I made some Mexican lasagna. I love lasagna, and I don't know how I figured out how to make lasagna, because we don't have any Italians in my family. I'm not Italian, but in my high school, I went to a Catholic high school, and they would serve lasagna. Somehow, I learned how to make really good lasagna. But I went to 2 restaurants here in Morelia just within the last couple of months, and I ordered lasagna a couple of times, and it was terrible. That was the worst lasagna I've ever had in my life. It had the lasagna noodles, and it had ground beef in it, and they put some kind of red sauce on it, but it was terrible. They would get thrown out of Italy. If they took that to Italy and asked somebody to eat it, they would get thrown out of the country. Even if they had passports and visas, Italians would just throw them out. So I made some lasagna this week, And I'm going to put up a video on this this coming week. Here you go. So here's all the stuff. I didn't have any noodles, so I used tortillas. I used tortillas instead of noodles. You can see the ground beef there. I used provolone cheese and mozzarella cheese. And instead of regatta cheese, which you can find, I used cottage cheese. Yeah. And it worked out pretty good. I just got my ground beef. And I love these little ground beef thingies. These black pepper, and you just grind your whole pepper. I put that over the ground beef, and this was a very lazy man's. It was a lazy man's meal. And then I have some ajo, which is garlic, ready to go. That's called ajo, AJO. And so I put my garlic over the peppered ground beef. Yep, that's what I did. Then I stick that into my air fryer. I've been using the heck out of the air fryer. I never ever go out to eat. I have a freezer full of frozen ground beef, quiche that's ready to eat, chicken thighs that are ready to be cooked. I never go out to eat. I love just being at home in the comfort, looking over the city. I really like it. Well, and then, okay, now, here we go. So, and I just bought that pan like last week. I got some olive oil. I'm going to take my olive oil. There's my tortillas. Take half a tortilla and wipe it around my brand new Teflon pan. And I can use this to make quiche also. And instead of lasagna noodles, I'm just going to got the tortillas. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm ready. Now I'm ready. I got more clips. I got more clips going on. Yes, I do. Okay, Max Power is in the house. Hola, Memo, in your travels around Morelia, could you do some agricultural tours of Granjas? Show us where this wonderful food is produced. Por favor. Granjas. Let's write that down. Granjas. Oh, show us where this wonderful food is produced. Pro favor. I wrote it down. Let me do some research and get back with you on that. David, who lives here in Morelia. Hey, Bill, you're right. The Italian food here sucks. Yeah, man. The Italian food sucks. I couldn't have said it any better, David. But yes, thank you. So let's get back. Yeah, I eat at home. And okay, so now we're going to add our first layer. I've got my provolone cheese, which I was surprised that I could even find it, but I got this at La Comer. It's a great store. Okay, throw on my ground beef out of my air fryer. Yeah, there you go. It's got my pepper and my garlic all good to go. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I throw in my mozzarella cheese. Sure. Yeah, Oh, we're cooking now. And my ragu. I could have used Prego, but throwing my ragu. And then it's time to put in my cottage cheese, not regatta cheese, but cottage cheese. I think I'm going to make my layers thinner next time. Yeah, and it's not quite finished just yet. We'll get back to that soon. Bill, I tried your quiche recipe. It turned out great. Never thought to use tortillas for the crust. Yes, and let me say that that quiche was broccoli quiche. Last week, I made a spinach quiche. All of the same ingredients, except I bought spinach at the grocery store. And the thing, I went to the grocery store and I found spinach, but you have to be careful. And going to William Mustache Stone Man, one of the cons about living in Mexico is eating certain vegetables like lettuce, celery, spinach, any kind of leaves. You have to be really careful about how you cook those, because if they're not cooked just right, you can get really sick. But almost all of the major grocery stores, your spinach, your lettuce, your celery, even corn on the cob, you can get it already cleaned and they put all the chemicals on it. So for my spinach quiche, I bought cleaned spinach. And it's funny, the cleaned spinach, the brand name is called Popeyes, and they have a picture of Popeye. And for you people that aren't my age, you may have no clue who Popeye is, but he was a cartoon character, and he was a sailor. And the bad guys would get him, and they'd get ready to beat him up. Then he would eat a can of spinach, and he would turn into Superman. So they actually have Popeye spinach down here. But anyway, so instead of broccoli, I used spinach, and it came out very well. So whatever. So anyway, if you're new here, I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. Ask any questions. Let us know you're here. Leave any comments. But I've lived in Puerto Vallarta, Guadalajara, Ajijic, Chapala, Mazatlan. Now I live in Morelia, and I've traveled I've traveled not as much as William Mustache Stone Man through Mexico, but I totally love it here in Mexico. I love the people. The people are very friendly. So I love it. I love it, but ask away. Okay, festival vendor. Hi. I just found this channel and it's really helpful. We just discovered we can be dual citizens. Can you tell us about healthcare for citizens? I put up a video. I did a video with Rosie, and just go to my channel. Let me see, what's the best way to do this? Okay, let me get in here. Let me go through my channel. Okay, how do I do this? I'm going to go to YouTube, and let me find this link for you. I did a video I'm looking for this video now. I did a video with Rosie. It's a quick video, but Rosie, what am I doing? Rosie shared some information with me about healthcare I had no clue about. And I think you need some form of visa, not a tourist visa, but a 1, 2, 3, or 4-year visa. Okay, I've got the, Here we go. Here it is right here. Okay. I'm going to put this link up, and all you have to do, let me copy that link and paste it over here in comments. There we go. Okay, there's the link right there. If you click that link, that video is Rosie talking all about healthcare. She helps people get healthcare in the Morelia area, but I think she can help you get healthcare. It doesn't matter where you are in Mexico. Let's paste the link right here and see if it works. Sure, it works. What's that? No, we don't want to do that. Advertising. What's going on with that? Skip ad. Yeah, there we go. Let's stop that. Let me see if I can share this clip with you. Okay. Present. Stop screen. Present. Share screen. Share screen. Here we go, right here. Share. Okay. Okay, so there's a video right there with me and Rosie need healthcare in Mexico. It's a short video. I think it's only like 10, 12 minutes, but you can contact Rosie, and for about $1,000 a year, if I'm not mistaken, she can help you find Mexican healthcare for emergency situations, or just, and healthcare. That's another one of the joys of living in Mexico is healthcare is so affordable. It's fabulous. If you have a cold, if you get the flu, the drugs are extremely affordable, unless you have some kind of weird condition. I had another subscriber called me up this week. Okay, thank you. Thank you, William Mustache Stone Man. I had another client that called me this week. His name is Charles, and he's an African American. He's 81 years old, and he's a Vietnam War veteran, and he got exposed to Agent Orange, and he has all kinds of medical problems. I mean, he has super serious medical problems. And I mean, he pretty much needs to be around a hospital almost 24/7. And I talked with him twice this week. He says, "Well, where can I live in Mexico and I can use my veteran benefits?" I'm going to say, I told him, Charles, man, for him, he's in a really bad situation. He needs to be in the United States pretty much 24/7. He's 81. He needs to be near a hospital all the time. I don't think any health program in Mexico can take care of him unless he's going to pay a hell of a lot of money. But if you're not in a situation like Charles, if you're not in a situation like Charles and you're like, I'm pretty healthy, I don't take any drugs, I exercise, I'm pretty good to go. But for general health care, Mexico is really good. Doc, Ola Bill, it's Doc. I'm back in Atlanta for the moment. The 5 weeks in Lake Chapala was eye-opening. I'll return to Mexico in the spring and visit a different city. Yeah, man. I would Okay. Ms. Matthews, I'm going to jump down to that comment in a second. Chapala, I lived there for 3 years. I would not, I'm just going to say it. I would not suggest, on my suggestion list of places to live in Mexico, some people like Chapala. I lived there. I would never. How do I say this? It's there's places for everybody to live. I'm not ever going back to Chapala. I would never suggest anybody live in Chapala, just like I would never suggest anybody live in Guadalajara. Guadalajara is a world-class city. Lots of things to see, lots of things to do. But they have like either 3 or 5 million people that live there. It's all spread out. I think it's kind of like Los Angeles. I mean, I would never suggest anybody live in Los Angeles. My sister's lived in Los Angeles for 15 years. She loves it. She'll never leave. I would never live in Los Angeles, ever. Even if I was a billionaire, I'd never live in Los Angeles. I might live in San Francisco, but Chapala, I would never suggest it. So whatever. Tooth Fairy, the cartels are business people. They sell a product and it is supply and demand. But there's nothing like driving while black in the United States. I have no fear of the cartels. And yes, I've been pulled over for driving while black in the United States, probably 10, 12 times, each time accused of stealing my car. So yeah, that's happened to me many, many times, especially if you're a young black guy that's like 18, 19 with a Dartmouth sticker. They say, oh, this broski cannot not be going to Dartmouth. No, we got to pull him over. Yeah. And Ms. Matthews, when I talked to Charles, he said that he found benefits. In fact, Charles lives in Columbus, Ohio. But in the last few months, he took trips to Panama, and he was able to get like veterans services in Panama. They helped him out, but he specifically said Panama, he could get his services to work. Thank you, Ms. Matthews. Axel Foley, hi, Bill. I was in Querétaro last week to update my residency card. To those with residency leaving Mexico, you must complete an FMN form with immigration as proof of exiting the country. Okay, fine. That's a very interesting tip. Yeah, that's why I returned to the States, because of health issues. The VA doesn't have a program other than the FMP Foreign Medical Program. This program helps veterans living abroad. Thank you, Johnny, for that tip. Mani Arturo, are there many restrictions like the HOAs in force in the USA? What is an HOA? Please inform me, what is an HOA? Rudy Clemens, Ola in the house. Ola, Bill, the wife and I are back. So glad to be Rudy Clemens. We've done videos with he and his wife, Sheila. They go back and forth to the United States. And I think that's because they have family there. And then Rudy has some health issues. But they love living in Mexico. They live in Mazatlan. Sheila is my age. I think Rudy's a couple of age years older than me, but they love living in Mexico. Brian, Pretty Boy Maiden. Bill, my health problem is that 5 years ago, I had a kidney transplant and I take a fair amount of meds. That's one thing that is holding me back. Yeah. Yeah. If that health thing, hey, Mexico's not good for everybody. It's not. Tooth Fairy, somewhat true. Somewhat true. Let's go back here and see what cartels. No, driving while black. Oh, homeowners association. Monty, are there many restrictions like the homeowners associations enforce in the United States? Well, in the United States, homeowner associations are all very different. But I mean, and they have a bunch of different types also. I've done many videos with Katie Ibarra, who's an excellent realtor in the Ajijic Chapala area or the Jocotepec area. And we did many videos on homes for sale in gated communities with homeowners associations. And in every homeowners association in gated communities, we probably did 20 videos. And each one, they had a homeowners association with different fees, different rules, different ways you could paint your houses. What can you build? I lived in a gated community and we were paying like $1,000 a year for the association's fee. And I had a neighbor living in that community and they painted their house purple. They owned the house, they owned the property, they painted their house purple. And the leader of the homeowner association told them that they had to repaint their house some different color. They got homeowner associations all over Mexico, and they can all be totally different with different restrictions, just enough to drive you crazy. With a monthly maintenance fee. And those fees might be monthly or you may pay them once a year. Can visit and stay 3 months. Well, come on down, do what you can. Come on down, Brian, and do what you can. We're down here waiting on you. You're very welcome, Manny. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen some homeowner association rules that are crazy. It's nuts. Yeah. Oh, great questions. And remember, if you're new, this is your show. Leave comments, ask questions. But before we leave, let's get back to my lasagna. Okay. Here is, we put on my first layer of lasagna. Now I'm going to put on my second layer. More tortillas. There you go. More provolone cheese. There you go. More hamburguesa or ground beef. Pure ground beef. There you go. More mozzarella cheese. This is my second layer. More cottage cheese and more ragu. Yeah, so anyway, then I bake that in the air fryer for about an hour and 20 minutes. And then I cut it up. And I'm going to put, here is my last layer. Here's my last layer. I'm going to finish it off. More ragu, just a little bit. Oh, some more provolone cheese. And I tell you what, once I cut this thing up, I put all of it in a Ziploc bag. I put all of it. I cut it up. This ended up being about 10 or 12 editable Ziplocked lasagna full meals. And I got that all in the freezer. That'll last me like 2 or 3 weeks. There you go. And it gets a big thumbs up. I'm about done. And here's how it looks. An hour and 20 minutes later, I pull it out of the oven with cheese sticking to the aluminum foil. It's steaming. Yeah, man. This is tortillas. This is lasagna. 3 layers made with tortillas and cottage cheese, mozzarella, provolone cheese, ragu, spaghetti sauce, and ground beef. Yes, there you go, baby. And it was delicious. I could have put some more vegetables in that bad boy. I'm shooting that going around the quiche with my drone. Oh, that was good. That was some good lasagna from Bill the Geek. If you use that recipe and it tastes good, be sure to donate to the channel so I can share with you some more fabulous recipes. That's Mexican lasagna. I bet you that's the first time. Okay, now here you go. Okay, Ken, please don't take this the wrong way. In terms of infrastructure, I was told that many towns, cities outside of Mexico City have issues with plumbing and toilet paper. Is that an issue? Ken, no, I'm not gonna take that the wrong way at all. Okay, let me say this. When I lived in Chapala, it's a brand new house. When the house was purchased before I moved in, the doors weren't even on the house. I mean, it was brand new. The lady next door was in a brand new house. White lady from Illinois. She was like a missionary. She bought the house. She had only lived in the house like 2 weeks before I moved into the house I was moving into. And she had been living in El Salvador. And she said, Bill, can we flush the toilets here? It was a brand new house. I said, yeah, sure, you can flush the toilets. And she said, well, in El Salvador, you put you don't wipe your ass and then put the toilet paper and flush it down the toilet. You put it in a little waste paper basket. I'd never heard of that before. And at that time, I'd been living in Mexico about 10 years. Okay, so in Puerto Vallarta, I had 1, 2, 3 places I lived in Puerto Vallarta. How long did I stay there? It was like 8 years. 8 years in Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, 3 and 5. I flushed the toilet every day. Wipe your butt, take the toilet paper, flush it down the toilet. I lived in Chapala. Then I moved to Guadalajara. For 3 years, flushed the toilet every day. Moved to Chapala. 3 years, flushed the toilet every day. When I got to Mazatlan, that was the first place I encountered where in Mazatlan, you start going to restaurants. I think I've been in maybe 1 Airbnb and maybe 5 restaurants in Mazatlan where you couldn't flush the toilet with toilet paper in it because their pipes were not ready for that. And I've seen this in many restaurants in Mazatlan. You go into an older restaurant in El Centro, and they'll have little signs. Don't flush the toilet paper. I was in somewhere in Puerto Vallarta. I think it was where was that? It was a little town outside of Puerto Vallarta. It's the skiing town. Sayulita. Yeah. I went into I was staying at a hotel there, and they had a sign, do not flush the toilet paper down the toilet. So you have to be aware in Mexico, but in 20 years of living in Mexico, I've been able to flush the toilet in just about everywhere I've ever been. It's only been, I'm going to say, less than 1% of the time when I couldn't flush the toilets. But like you said, in terms of infrastructure, some towns and cities are ready for that and others are not. You do have to be aware of that. Ms. Lowe, why didn't you like Lake Chapala? Okay. The lake itself is polluted, so you can't swim in it. All you can do is look at the lake. They don't have any good restaurants. They have one good Italian restaurant. It's called Romeo and Juliet. The guy's Italian. The Italian food is excellent. He actually has good lasagna. He's Italian. Okay. And they have excellent pizza that this guy makes. That's the only good place to eat in the town, so to speak. It's a very small, sleepy town. Hey, I visit a lot of small, sleepy towns. It's just one of the small, sleepy towns. I wouldn't live there. I would live in Pátzcuaro. Fabulous. I did a video on them about a month ago, 6 weeks ago. It was fabulous. Loved it. Chapala is not high on my list. No, and that's just how I'm thinking right now. Just me. That's just me. It's like I've been to New York City a million times. My sister lived in Manhattan for 10, 15 years. I used to go there almost every weekend. Lived near there. But I would never suggest anybody move to New York City, not unless you're a billionaire with security and stuff. Brian Maiden, serious rehab for Holly and more travel fun. Thank you so much, Brian, for contributing to the channel to help us keep on to help us travel, get Holly some rehab so she can get off that fentanyl junkie habit she got. I think she's turned into a hooker. Whatever, but thank you as always, Brian, for contributing to the channel. William Mustache bump up your cottage cheese by blending in 4-ounce cream cheese. Thank you very much, William Mustache Stoneman. Bill M. What do you mean? Hola, Bill and amigo. Sorry I'm late. Got lost purging recipes. Now you're funny. Got kept movie on my escape plan. Lasagna the lasagna was very good. And we got Verlaine in the house in La Paz, I think. Morning a bit late. Lasagna looks great. Yum. My lasagna, it was good. That does look very delicious. Yes. Tooth Fairy. Ray, please explain to me what is somewhat true. The police themselves admitted that they pull over black people with nice cars. That's very funny. And a whole host of other reasons. There is no way to call it. Yeah, there's no way to call it. Yeah, man, that's another one of the joys when you're black. Another one of the joys in living in Mexico is being away from getting pulled over by the police cars. I mean, Caucasians don't understand what it's like to get harassed all the time when you live in the United States, when you're black. It's a nightmare on a daily basis. Axel Foley, my Airbnb was a 15-minute walk from Centro. Okay. On average, a one-bedroom apartment in the Airbnb area costs around $750. Is that too expensive? Okay, hold on. In El Centro. Okay, so I think that $750 must be in pesos. That has to be in pesos. Okay. Okay, so pesos, let me think about this. 750 pesos, that's like $33 a night. And I don't know what city you're talking about, Axel Foley, but for your Airbnb, if it's nice and clean and you got Wi-Fi in there for $33 a night, that I would say that's pretty good. Now, when I first, before I got into this apartment, I stayed in an Airbnb. I stayed in an Airbnb near El Centro. It was very nice. It was in El Centro. I mean, it was a super nice Airbnb. I was paying, it came out to like 1,800 pesos a night. So it was like twice as much as what you're paying. When I look for Airbnbs, that range of 750 pesos for a night, I would say that is very reasonable. That's like $33 a night. You're a 15-minute walk from El Centro. I'd say that's good. Win, thanks. From Miami, Florida, enjoying the discussion. Thank you, Win. Nancy, in most places in Ecuador, you can't flush the toilet paper because the pipes and infrastructure will not able to handle it. You keep a closed trash can next to every toilet. And that's what you have to look for in Mexico. You go into a bathroom, you see a trash can there, and I would say this would be a restaurant, maybe a movie theater, maybe a bus station. And if you see a trash can next to the toilet and you look in the trash can, if it's an open trash can, and you see rolls of toilet paper and the rolls of toilet paper in the trash can look kind of like they have like doo-doo on them. That's the best I can say, right? Well, that means don't put your toilet paper in the trash can. Or like Nancy's saying, many restaurants and hotels and stuff, they'll have a sealed trash can so that you can pop the lid open and throw it in there and then seal it shut so the funk don't come out. Yes, you have to be aware of that in Mexico. Maybe I should make a video on this. This week, the Mexican peso went up 43% on the foreign exchange from 1978 to 2011. This morning, it was at 2018. The Mexico's economy has a current ranking of 12th best in the world, but the value is still shrinking against the dollar, which means your dollar goes much further than it was 3 years ago. Okay, buenos dias, Ricardo Vargas. Buenos dias to you, Ricardo. I was driving on a turnpike not long ago, needed to get directions since I was lost. The uncivilized racist police put his hand on his gun and said, go back to your effing car. They hate black people. Yeah, man. I tell you what, Caucasians don't like me to talk about it, but one of the biggest joys in living in Mexico is not going through that. Okay. Yeah. And it happens a lot. in the United States on a daily basis. I'm so happy not to be there anymore. We actually moved back to Vancouver, and Verlaine was living in on the southern tip of the peninsula in Mexico, La Paz. Moved back to Vancouver. Oh, that's shocking, Albert. I heard foreigners need co-signers to rent in Mexico. Did you do that? Okay, Albert. Okay. I don't know. I can't even tell you. Over 20 years, I can't tell you the number of apartments that I've lived in. I'm going to say I've lived in at least 10. I have never, ever had a co-signer on the contract. The place I live in right now. Now, this is funny. The place I live in right now, I had to sign like a 7-page contract. And the last signature on the contract was for a co-signer. So the owners of this 8-unit apartment live next door. It's a guy, 2 guys. They're a couple, and they're both Mexican. They're very wealthy. It's an older guy and a younger guy. So the older guy, I think, whatever. The older guy, he's all Spanish. But the younger guy, really smart, Mexican, totally bilingual. So he's explaining everything to me in fluent English, totally fluent English. So we get to that last signature. I had to sign like 7 times. We get to the last signature place, and the young guy in English, he said, "Oh, now that's the spot for the co-signer." I said, "Really? I need a co-signer?" And then he says, "Oh, well, you can just sign that. You can be the co-signer." Okay. So I'm renting the apartment, and then he just told me to be the co-signer too. But that's the only time I've ever seen it on a contract. So I wouldn't worry about it. That's going to vary from contract to contract. I've only seen it on one contract forever in Mexico. Johnny William, yeah, that's big time in Merida, Mexico. Johnny, what do you mean? Ms. Lowe, in Morelia, I'm speaking of. You're speaking of what? I would suggest everybody move to Morelia. I love Morelia. I'm not Ms. Lowe. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Please rephrase that, please. Crazy Boy Radio. Good morning. Hope everything is growing great. Yes, it is. David. Hey, Bill. They dug up a sewer line in our neighborhood early this week. Ooh, the smell was pretty unpleasant for about 2 days. You're welcome to Mexico. No, Bill, to rent an apartment no, Bill, to rent an apartment around the Airbnb area, which cost about, is that too much? Okay, 700. What city are you talking about, Axel? $750 a month. I mean, if you can afford it, hey, cool. I mean, that's less than $1,000. When I was in Mazatlan, with the peso being up, when I left Mazatlan, my rent was up to like $840 a month. When I moved in, it was $650 a month. So when I left, it was $840 a month. I thought that was too high. But compared to prices in the United States, $750. But hey, I live in Mexico. So Rosie, she said she could find me a nice apartment in downtown, in El Centro, in Morelia. And she said she could find a nice 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, fully furnished apartment in El Centro in Morelia for about $500 a month. I think $750 a month is pushing it. I'd say keep looking, depending on what city you're in. If you're in El Centro in Mazatlan, a tourist town, you're going to get charged more. You may. I know people living in El Centro in Mazatlan paying $1,500 a month, but that's a really nice apartment with a view of the ocean. But I think that's pushing it too much. The buck stops here. You're right, Bill. In March 2024, the Mexican was about 16.1 to the dollar. Now the peso is around 20 to, yes. Yeah, hey, this is a great time to rent or buy or shop. To live in Mexico, this rate is great. Tooth Fairy, I have never had to put toilet paper in the trash. In fact, when I stayed in Airbnb in Guadalajara, the host had a sign in the bathroom, please flush your paper. I've never seen that. That is funny. That is hilarious. Please flush your paper. That is really funny. Yeah, I have rarely been in that issue. Toilet paper. Hey, but I tell you what, Johnny, when it is an issue, it really is an issue. It doesn't happen very often, but it does happen. All right, now. Johnny Williams in Merida, Mexico, they have the little baskets by the toilet, and that's how the town was built. Blah blah blah. Ricardo, Viva la Mexico cabrones. Okay, Viva pinche cabrones in Mexico. See, Ms. Lowe. Bill, tell us about Wi-Fi, transportation apps, healthcare facilities, local markets, Costco, Walmart, shopping malls. Okay, you want? Yes, Ms. Lowe. And Ms. Lowe, feel free to donate to the channel. Click, and you guys feel free to donate to the channel. I'm answering as many questions as I can. I mean, I got to pay rent, man. You know, click one of them little $5, $10, $15, $20 buttons, something, so I can pay my rent. But okay, let's talk about Wi-Fi. Who am I using for Wi-Fi now? My Wi-Fi's cost, I got 500 meg, and that's costing me about $20 a month. Transportation, I use Didi. I don't use Uber. Didi is almost half as much as Uber. When I leave here today, I'm going to go to the grocery store. Which is about a mile and a half away. I'm going to get Didi back. That's going to cost me about $1.25. Tooth Fairy uses the combis a lot here. That's going to cost you 10 to 12 pesos. 10, 12 pesos. That's like 50, 60 cents. To get around Mazatlan on the bus, it was 13 pesos. That's like 60 cents to get around on the bus or in Uber. Apps. Apartments. Depending on where you live, I'm paying about $450 a month here for my apartment. 1 bedroom, 2 bathrooms, fully furnished. When I was in Puerto Vallarta, I had a brand new apartment, fully furnished, swimming pool, great deck. That was $400 a month. Healthcare facilities. Mexico has some of the best healthcare facilities in the world and very inexpensive. Local markets. I just put up a video about a month ago about this market right downtown. Where is it? Local markets. Oh, here we go. I just put up this video about a week ago. Mercado Independencia. It's about 4 blocks from El Centro in Morelia. And it's like 1 block by 1 block. And in here, you can get all kinds of, look at all those avocados. All the fresh fruits and vegetables that you could ever think of in this, and everything is very inexpensive. Fresh fish, fresh chicken. I mean, and these prices are fabulous. Oh, and then 2 blocks from where I live, they have a weekly market just like this. It's about 6 blocks. Look at the fish, chicken, beef, vegetables. So I can go to El Centro and do this every day, or they do this once a week, a block away from where I live. And in this market, you can go shopping for flowers or get fresh chicken with chicken feet, whole chicken, cut chicken, fresh every day. So yeah, we got the local markets down here. There you go. Yeah, there you go. And okay, health. I mean, malls. Yeah, Walmart. I live 4 blocks away from Walmart. Costco is a 10-minute taxi DD ride from where I live. Yeah, there you go. So I tell you all of that, but you won't. Oh, Albert, thank you very much. Ms. Lowe, I give you the information, but you won't click the donate button. I understand. The buck stops here. As I can't help but to ask how much to rent a studio or a flat in Morelia, in walking distance to everything. The Buckster don't drive. I don't drive Buckster. I tell you what, Buckster, I'm so happy not to drive. I use Didi or Uber to get around. And Tooth Fairy uses the combi situation. That's like 10, like 50 cents. You can go all over town for like 50 cents, $1. I had a car for 12 years. But I mean, you have a car, you have to get tires and oil changes, and then things go wrong with the car. I don't want a car. I get around on the public transportation. I like it. To get a flat, and in Morelia again, contact Rosie. There's a picture of Rosie, all of her contact information. There's Rosie right there. She can help you, and you can call her, you can email her, and she will totally help you out. Let's get a banner out here. Oh, here we go. Right here. Just go to buildthegeek.org, FAQs, and you'll find all of Rosie's contact information at the top of the page. And I would think for a flat in El Centro, I think that's going to be about 7,000 pesos a month. That's what I think. That's going to be about, that's what I think. Call, email Rosie, and I tell you what, let me look at a couple of things here. Let me look at a couple of things here. Brand. Okay. Now, if you live in the Guadalajara, Ajijic, Chapala area, Alvaro Sanchez, he helped me get 2 visas. No, he helped me get 2 2-year visas and my permanent visa. And if you go to buildthegeek.org and look at FAQs, you will find his contact information there. He has helped hundreds of our subscribers get visas, and I mean, he has helped hundreds of subscribers, of my subscribers, get visas. Now, I'm just saying this because I don't get a dime from Albiro. And I met Rosie about 2 months ago. We did 3 videos together. She has had her phone flooded with my subscribers. And she's making money. And if you contact Rosie, she's going to charge you $20 an hour. That's not pesos, that's dollars an hour to help you out. I don't make a dime from Rosie, nothing. So why am I saying that? I'm just saying I'm just giving up the information. Rosie is good at what she does. Albiro is very good at what he does. Rosie is good for the Morelia area, for visas, apartments, hospitalization, and translation. Albiro is just good for visas. Don't ask Albiro to help you find an apartment. That's not what he does, man. Okay, let's get back over here and see what is going on. Ricardo, Tooth Fairy, do you have papers for living in Mexico? Isn't that interesting? People are nosy. People are so nosy. Albert, don't let Holly go on fentanyl binge with this. Albert, thank you so much for contributing to the channel. Thank you for contributing to the channel. Oh, Johnny Williams, thank you, Albert. Let me click that again. Albert, thank you so much for contributing to the channel. Johnny Williams, May Coco has everything: Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club. Then you have shopping malls, upscale farmers market. Mexico has it all. Yeah, it's all down here. It's all down here. Tooth Fairy, Ms. Low, Wi-Fi is the best in the world. Costs $22. Combi costs 10 pesos, 50 cents. Beautiful supermarkets, beautiful malls, Costco, Walmart. They are huge. I tell you what, Mexico is the bomb. Mexico is the bomb. People laughing. Okay, let's have some fun. Oh, Rosie is delightful. Rosie is delightful. And Char Williams, thanks for coming in through once again and contributing to the channel. And even Ms. Lowe contributes to the channel. Thank you so much. And if you find this information helpful, not only can you contribute to the channel, but click the like button. Yeah, we have 58 people in the house with 30 likes, and thank everyone for just showing up. What time is it? For just showing up. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now, Ms. Lowe, let me say though, Morelia is fabulous. I've been here 20 years. I love it. But let's go back to Tooth Fairy. Ms. Lowe, Wi-Fi, the best in the world. I mean, I'm trying to remember how much I pay. Oh, I think I'm paying 450 pesos a month. That's like $22. It's probably about 20. And I got 500 meg. That works for me. 500 meg. That's fast. 500 meg. Costco. Yeah, we got Costco. Walmart. Oh, and then we got La Comer. It is the bomb. It is a super fabulous show. Oh, and then I did a video about 2 months ago. I just went to the mall. I live about a mile and a half from this super mall. And that's in Morelia. Hey, Morelia, Mexico has it all. Mexico, but Morelia specifically, I think you get more. It has all the fabulous stuff that you could ever want. It has all the stuff that you could ever want, but it's affordable. That's why I live here. Also, not only does it have, and Tooth Fairy lives here. David lives here. Another guy who is here right now, he lives here, but he's only lived here for about a month now. And there aren't hardly any Americans or Canadians here, just a handful. So Tooth Fairy talks about all the racism in the United States. I mean, I walk around here and I never see any Caucasians. I don't. I just don't. No Caucasian. I don't see any. It's all Mexican people. That's why I moved to Mexico, to be around Mexicans. Yeah. Yeah, because they don't call you the N-word, think the N-word, any of that. And that's very important to my lifestyle. Brian Maiden. Rosie, she has a beautiful smile. Yes, she does. And let me click down here to Lisa for Holly's Rehab. Thank you very much, Lisa. Thank you for throwing that Lisa at the end. Thank you. Yeah, Holly. And for those of you that don't know, that's Holly right back there. Holly the hoe. I didn't know she was a hoe when I brought her home. If I had known she was a junkie and a hoe, I wouldn't have let her get into my apartment. But that is Holly right there. Thank you for contributing to the channel. Jamie has showed up late and great, but hello, everyone. Jamie is a regular living right now in Montreal, Canada, thinking about moving to Mexico, perhaps in January. Ricardo, what is my status here in Mexico has to do with you? If you want to know, I'm a permanent citizen here in Mexico. I told you people are just people are nosy, man. They want to know all your business. Yeah, they do. Yeah. And permanent is the way to go. And then I was talking to Annie. I was talking to Annie in Mazatlan. She's a permanent resident. I think she has a Mexico, she's a Canadian citizen, a United States citizen, and a Mexico citizen also. And she's a hoot, very, very intelligent woman. I'm not going to talk about her financing, but brilliant woman. And with these visa requirements changing for solvency, I mean, now if you want to get a permanent visa, you got to have like $50,000 or $70,000 in the bank. Or you got to be pulling in more than $3,000 a month just to get a 1, 2, 3, or 4 year visa. Well, you got to be bringing in $5,000 a month, $60,000 a year to get a permanent visa. So Annie just said, well, hey, people, just deal with it. Quit complaining, just deal with it. So whatever. I'm just telling you, that's just what Annie was saying. Okay, now, Brian Maiden, I just watched a couple showing El Centro in Morelia. It was absolutely stunning. Downtown Morelia is the bomb. El Centro in Morelia is fabulous. Yeah, but I tell you what, I don't live in El Centro, but I can get to El Centro. It'll cost me about 60 pesos. Okay, let's say 80 pesos. So that's going to cost me $4 to get a DD to El Centro, and I'm good with that round trip. That's going to cost me $8. And I could definitely live in El Centro, but I'm very happy where I am right now. Oh, by the way, Ricardo, I had to show the Mexican consulate in Chicago 12 months bank statement. Go look up how much money you need to get permanent in residence here. I didn't need a lawyer. Good for you, girl. Hey, gosh. 3-year temp visas around 521, depending on the exchange rate, according to the Mexican consulate. That must be the fees that you pay, I would think. I don't know. Okay. Now let me look at my list and see what I have missed. Okay. Okay. I'm just looking at my list. Got to look at my list. Checking it twice. Okay. Yeah. So the election is over. And at the bottom of my list, I have down here, the election's over, but we just keep on moving ahead. I'm 68. I seen all kinds of garbage come and go in and out of the White House. So we'll just let this garbage pass through. Just like after we'll just all of us take some X-Lax and just let the garbage pass through. That's what always happens. Yeah. And at the bottom of my list, I got here, it says, I am the enemy within. I, Bill the Geek, Bill Dallas Lewis, I am the enemy. I am the enemy within. And I had to do a lot of forgiveness. I had to take a day. Wednesday, I just had to dig in to a lot of my spiritual studying. And I took Wednesday. It was a full day of forgiveness. And I had a flashback this morning. When I was growing up in Ohio, a quarter mile away from the Grand Dragon of the KKK, and I'd be the only black kid on the white school bus, and they voted for George Wallace. And those of you that don't know who George Wallace was, he was a big-time bigot. He was like a racist. I mean, he just wanted to kill all the black people. And then, but I had so many white friends, but I looked at their mothers, and these were all really nice people. But they voted for a total bigot. I couldn't go swim at the swimming pool next door. I mean, but, I didn't even think about it. I knew I was going to get straight A's. I knew I was going to go to an Ivy League school. I was going to do something totally different than what these, and I had a flashback this morning on all the people I knew that voted for George Wallace, these adults. They just didn't know. They didn't know any better. They were just uninformed. So all I can do is just share forgiveness, just keep on doing what I do, believe in love comes first above everything, love, joy, and happiness. And all I can do is value education, share education. I can only value that all people are equal and valuable. It doesn't matter how much money you have or what the color of the skin or if you have a penis or not. We are all equal. It's all about sharing the love. And there are lots of us out there that will continue to saying that we love, joy, hope, equality. We are the enemy within. And we will be here getting straight A's, moving ahead, spreading love and joy and education. And that's not going to stop Bill the Geek unless they come down here and kill me. They have to come down here and kill me, but they can't kill me because I'm infinite and eternal, because I'm not a body. Deal with that. Yeah. Okay, now let's see what else is happening here. Ricardo Vargas, I feel apologize for that, Bill. Didn't know that Tooth Fairy was you. Okay, whatever. Tooth Fairy. Okay, now let's see this. Here we go. Thomas Smith. Oh, Ra Trump. Fuck the week. Towards the. Let's see here. Let's see something here. That's how we take care of that. That's funny. Let's do this. Yes. Yeah, we just delete him from the channel altogether. I'm just a black man with the power to delete you from my channel forever. And that's what I just did to you. That's funny to me. Tooth Fairy Bill, to get permanent residency here costs almost $300,000. It goes up exponentially each year. Go look it up. It's all there. Yeah, it's expensive. I mean, yeah, right on. Yes, Brian, it's Miss Sam. Yeah, Miss Sam. She changed her name. That's right, Bill. Thank you. Okay, that's what I thought. Ms. Matthews, thank you, Bill. Forgiveness and love is the key. That's what it's all about. Woo! WTG, Bill. Whatever that means. I don't know what it means. Delete. Yes, that's what happens. And yeah, man. Yeah, and if you're new to the channel and you didn't know that, way to go. If you're new to the channel and you didn't know that that I'm Bill the Geek, this is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel, and we're all about equality for all types of color of people. We don't care how much money you have, we don't care if you have a penis or not. We don't care who you love on the channel. And if you're a bigot, if you're a Nazi, you don't want to come back, unsubscribe, go away. But we're all about love and equality here. And yes, we do talk about it. Some people say, well, that's politics. Well, everything is politics. Everything is politics. Everything you do is politics. If you don't like politics, cut your wrists and just lay down and die. There you go. That's all I have to say for today. And if you don't like a black man talking about, when I was in 5th and 6th grade living in Columbus, Ohio, we already had 3 TV stations, and they had UHF. That's where public radio was, or television. And one of the television stations in Columbus, Ohio, every day they would have the criminal in town that they were looking for. And every day this would be a black guy. They have a different black guy who was a criminal that they were looking for every day. Okay, so then they would give a description. Well, now this guy, they'd show a picture of him, and they would give his weight and his height. And they would always say, and he has maroon eyes. And I'm in 5th, 6th grade, and I never really understood maroon eyes. Who has maroon eyes? It didn't hit me until maybe about 3 or 4 years ago when I was like 64 years old. That meant bloodshot. That means like he was a drunk, because only drunk people have maroon eyes. Okay. Everybody else has brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes, but black people have maroon eyes because they're all drunk. Now, is that politics? No, that's just one of the joys of living in Mexico. Not having to deal with that. Is that politics? I'm sorry. That's a part of my life. Yeah, man. That was a big part of my life, and living in Mexico and getting away from all of that is just fabulous. It is the bomb. Okay, you guys. Well, this week, yeah. So if you don't like hearing about social injustice, or if you don't like hearing about criminals in the White House, if you don't want to hear about why people would rather have somebody in the household, in the White House, that is a rapist, a thief, convicted with 34 felonies, who wouldn't rent to black people, him nor his father, in New York City, a criminal. If you don't want to hear why people in the United States would elect this guy a president as opposed to someone who is a college graduate with a law degree, who was an attorney general for the state of California, went on to be a senator in the United States Senate, who has experience in government, no, the American people would instead appreciate to have a rapist with 34 felonies, a thief, a bigot who doesn't like people of color. If you don't, if who wants to be a dictator on day one and just go around locking up people of color and letting women die all over the country because why? Because they're not free to choose what they can do with their bodies. Oh man. I mean, yeah, if you don't want to hear about that, just hit the stop button and go watch Fox News. Fox News just yesterday said that Donald Trump should put to death all the prosecutors. That would mean anybody who is that would mean like Letitia James, the prosecuting attorney in Georgia, the special counsel. Fox News says put them to death. Yeah, if I'm saying too much, go watch Fox News, the Nazi channel. But we don't play the Nazi channel here because I'm Bill the Geek. And if you leave a comment, you want to call me the N-word or something else and talk about how fine Nazis are, I just delete you from the channel and you're gone. It's called Black Power at Bill the Geek. So I'm going to let it go. Thank you, Brian. Have happy birthday. And I'll be back. I will be traveling this week. I don't forgive. I only weak forgives. No, forgive. No. Oh, that's okay. You just be nice to the fair. Just be nice. I'm worried here in Texas. I have a daughter and 3 granddaughters. And Nancy, it's crazy. Okay. Nancy, this name should mean something to you. Amber Nicole Thurman. Amber Nicole Thurman. I think she was a woman and it wasn't an abortion. It was like she had a miscarriage or something in Texas, and they couldn't take care of her, so she died. Yeah, man, it's just messed up. It's messed up. Thank you, Axel Fole, Temple Moore. Thank you. Take care. Thank you. You take care too, Axel. Trump voters are starting to face reality. Just saw a show. One of the Trump voters thought China would pay the tariff. Duh. No, Trump, I think that's why the value of the peso is falling, because Trump's going to charge Mexico tariffs, but all that money just gets passed on to the American public. All right. Trump said he wants a day of purge. Yes. First state to lose women's rights this year was Florida, and that's the same state Trump lives in. Yeah. So anyway, we're not Nazis here, and we got to get rid of the Nazis. And so let's just everybody take some X-Lax and we'll just let this pass through. So that's all I have to say. I'm going to be back on the road this week. I want to thank everybody for showing up, and everybody, everything will work out. Joe Biden said this week, he said everything will be okay. So, and I do believe in the universe and the eternal and the infinite and the powerful and the good, and I believe in love. Woo! I believe in love. Yeah. And forgiveness, Tooth Fairy. Yes, I do. All right. Now, so that's all I got. I'm going to be on the road this week. I'm going to Guitar Town. I think I'm going to put up a video this week comparing Morelia to Mazatlan, just my views and giving people suggestions on what you might want to look out for before you move to Mazatlan, or maybe before you move to Morelia. But I'm going to do that comparison, and I am going to put up towards the end of the week, I'm going to put up my lasagna video at the end of the week. So I want to thank everybody for showing up. And this week was tough for many of us, but we just move ahead, man. Just keep on doing what you do, getting those straight A's, being verbals, ask people why they would vote for a Nazi. And that's all there is. So I'm going to get out of here now. I'm Bill the Geek. This is the Bill Dallas Lewis channel. We're broadcasting live from Morelia, Mexico. We say it like it is. We do what we can. Love you all. We got stuff coming up next week, but love you all. Thanks for donating. Thanks for clicking the like button. Thanks for all of us sharing time together this Saturday. All I can do is say adios. All I can say is hasta luego. And all I can say is que te vaya bien.